Joining us now is Kathryn Lopez, who is the editor-at-large at National Review, also syndicated columnist. Thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, so good to be with you.
And we were talking about the upcoming anniversary, 10-year anniversary of the death of Bill Buckley, and I know huge influence on you and so many other people's lives. Just talking with you beforehand, you were mentioning how he's a father figure to so many people. Maybe if you could talk about that and how his influence has stayed with you now in your writing.
Sure. Well, William F. Buckley Jr. was the founder of National Review magazine. He had a long-running program on PBS called Firing Line, public affairs program, and we really honestly don't have anything like it today, where everyone's attention span is so short and our debates seem to be so surface level. He had robust debates with people he seriously disagreed with, but he did it with civility, and he was well known for it, every other week. National Review is a fortnightly from the beginning. Every other week it comes out. We of course have a website that runs 24/7 now, and everything else. But so every other Monday night, he would invite the editorial staff and the editors and a special guest to his house in New York, and he would famously again have people he disagreed with, and you'd break bread together, and you'd have a robust conversation and laughs and all, but he could do that, and I think it's a model that is helpful for us right now, because we have a hard time doing that. We can't even have a civil half-second discussion on social media, never mind actually meeting people in person and talking about things you disagree with, but with love and respect, and so anyway, Bill is just a great example of many things, I think, and when we were talking off air, I was sharing that I had, when he died in 10 years ago in February now, I announced it on our website, and so I got a lot of emails from people with their tributes, and so many people had these beautiful stories about how they met him when they met him in an airport, or they picked him up when he came to visit their college campus, and all the stories were exactly the same. He treated me like I was the most important person in the world, with the most important opinion in the world, and most people get nervous when they meet a famous person or someone they admire, and so they're all saying how patient he was and fatherly and brotherly, but I was most moved by not only the priest who said that he influenced their vocation because he talked about the faith on the show, and it was just obviously a part of his life and his worldview. And one nun, religious sister, sent me an email as well saying that he had influenced her vocation. But so many men wrote me and said that they didn't have a father present in their life, and he was this stable fatherly presence in their life with an air of authority, and they were really respected. And so, I mean, he taught men how to be men, and made them feel like they had a father. I always think, he helped them see God the Father's love. He had no idea he was doing that. He was just talking about the Panama Canal or something, He famously debated Ronald Reagan on that on Firing Line once. So anyway, it is a great honor to be able to be at National Review and write about the faith. And we have this National Review Institute too, where I'm a senior fellow, and a lot of what I do is talk about virtue and gratitude, and I'm often quoting Bill Buckley and making it clear I'm not the first person who thought about talking about gratitude, in connection to maybe something that's going on in politics or whatnot, helping people appreciate that as crazy as things are now, Bill was fighting the Cold War, and there are these principles that are abiding, and our faith, of course, and all of what he tried to do was rooted in his faith, and we should be more confident and courageous in doing that, I think, and so I'm grateful for the example.
And you're mentioning too, and I'm wondering where things kind of derailed in terms of civility and
Right.
and being able to speak and be able to discuss things and argue about things, but still at the end of the day be able to be friends or talk amongst yourself without this angriness
Right.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, right. There's this hostility that's in the air. You can almost cut it like a knife, cut it with a knife. Some of it's social media. Some of it, and I think we have this bipartisan problem where we need to politicize everything and we need to nationalize everything. So if there's a school shooting, we immediately go to instead of just utter sorrow and prayers for the grieving and for the souls of those who've died and for the hearts and souls of other people who may be harboring some kind of thought that would drive them to a mass shooting or whatever it is, suicide, so many men who kill themselves. Instead of going there and praying and acknowledging evil and it's always what's the law, who's the politician who's going to fix it, even who's the bishop who's going to fix it. Well, why doesn't the Pope get everything right all the time, and why doesn't he just fix everything? No, let's take a few steps back here. First of all, pray for the Holy Father and pray for your bishop and pray for your president and your senator and your congressman and all the rest. Your school principal, if your kid, whatever it is, all these people in leaderships who have real positions, who have real responsibilities, but also not have this disordered view of politics, and first of all, this disordered view of life, that everything is political and politics is important and a noble pursuit, and we don't see it as a noble pursuit, of course, which may be part of the reason why things are the way they are. But I think we have to be more patient with one another too, and social media is a great example of that. I know I've seen things change tremendously, in as much as no one reads past a headline. So people have decided what your argument is before they even read anything. Exactly, and very often an editor will write the title, and you may or may not agree with it, the headline. The writer may or may not. So anyway, we have to be a little more patient, I think, with one another.
And speaking of writing, people can find you in so many different places. You write for a lot of different, as a syndicated columnist too.
Right.
If people want to find out more about you or read some of your material, where would they go?
Well, nationalreview.com is a good place, and I'm probably the easiest way to catch up is I'm on Twitter at Kathryn Lopez.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Kathryn.